We'll move on to certificates. Tonight is Certificate of Appreciation to Police Chief Bryan Jarrell for 5 years of service. Sir?
Brian, it's truly hard to believe that it's been 5 years. How quickly that time has flown. When thinking about the comments that are appropriate this evening, there were a number that came to mind. Number one was leadership. You were hired from Southfield, Michigan, based on the experience that you had in a community that was larger than ourselves, that had a number of challenges that we may face at some point in our future. And we were looking very mightily to find somebody that would be able to lead the department and share that experience that you have actually lived. And under your leadership, there has been a cultural refinement within the department. And notice I say refinement. You didn't change it. You came in and with your very great approach at managing people, you've gone ahead and refined the culture and turned it into a better place to work, quite frankly. Another thing that comes to mind is integrity. And the reason I say integrity is that oftentimes a police chief has messages to convey to management, to myself, or to council that may not necessarily be fun to convey. But you have done a really good job of being able to share bad news as well as good news without a filter, and just putting it out there and say, this is what we have, and these are the issues that we might be facing. Another word that comes to mind is professionalism. You have displayed your own professionalism, but probably more importantly, you've shared that with the 76 sworn officers in the department, and you have guaranteed that they receive the appropriate training to bring up their level of expertise. And that's really important, especially when you take a look at the new generation of police officers that come in. And council had the advantage last week of seeing 3 new officers that have come in from the NARDA Training Academy. And they need a lot of training. And I'm not talking about sitting down in a classroom and being trained that way. You guarantee that they receive the mentoring from more experienced officers, and that is priceless, and something that is a great direction within the department. And once again, talking about experience, you have decades of experience in a different jurisdiction that was a rough environment, but it also contained an element that's important for us, and that is that community is very business friendly, very much a community that assists the growth of industry in it and has a very healthy economy, and you brought that mindset with you. So for that, I really do thank you. I think also under experience, one item is budget discipline. You are given a budget on an annual basis, and you do a very good job of making sure that your expenditures, your overtime allowances, and everything associated with that fit within the budget, and that is huge. Now, I have not mentioned, but I will now, did you know that Prescott Valley is recognized as being the lowest crime community in northern Arizona? North of Bell Road, we have the lowest crime. We did not have that distinction 5 years ago. And I would suggest to you that you have helped that accomplishment come to fruition. I really do appreciate that. I think you've done a great job. And then just a listing of some of the things that you've done, and it's an incomplete list, but Coffee with a Cop and a police academy and a youth police academy that is just getting underway. You've done a good job of cultivating relationships with our businesses. You also have a police citizens committee that you have started, and you have spent a great deal of time managing the $3 million expansion to the police station to give you more room to function. So with all of that, Bryan, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We can also call up your better half as well, because I'm sure you wouldn't be here without her. Where's she at? I know she's going to hate this, but...
She was trying to escape that.
I'm sure you'd agree, sir, that you wouldn't be here or your years of experience without this woman next to you. So for that, she deserves her own round of applause. So, sir, like Mr. Tarkowski said, being the lowest crime rate north of Bell Road is something to be proud of. And also, we did not have this 5 years ago, and it didn't happen overnight. And you are at the tip of the spear for that. So for that, I'm sure everyone here thanks you. So thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, we always have a little envelope with each of these awards. And it's private, so I won't say how much it is. But we just want to honor you with a little extra cash gift.
And I'm sure you want to say a few words.
Well, I got to tell you, I don't know where to begin, but 5 years ago, the town council and town administration took a chance on a kid from Southfield who they didn't know. It was an unknown. And so they took a chance on me, and I came here, and there was another unknown. I didn't know what I was getting into. But what I found was a town council that supports the police department, town administration that mostly supports the police department. Just kidding, Larry. I know, budget's tomorrow, so. A community that really supports their police department. But I found a group of employees, and I'm not talking about just police officers. You will find all of our employees, from sworn to civilian, that are truly committed to serving all of you in this community. And I don't think I could ask for anything more, and I don't think you could either. And so for that, I've been very, very blessed, and I'm also very grateful. Thank you.
And we promised she didn't have to say anything. But, Mayor, I would like to. Marty Grossman and I both serve on the Police Foundation, so we probably know a lot more inside information than just the rest of the citizens. So, Marty, I think we can echo everything Larry said.
Yeah, I absolutely totally agree. And can I give one really quick anecdote?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a couple myself.
Shortly after the chief got here, I heard a story from one of the police officers saying that there were several of them ready to go into the gymnasium, and they opened the door, and the chief is there, working out and doing whatever he, needed to do that day. And he turns to the other guys and he goes, "The new chief's in there." And the other guy goes, "Just go in." And okay, so they all went in, and first words out of the chief's mouth is, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And the conversation just started, and that is just the attitude of our police chief. He's their boss, but he's also one of them, and that's commendable. And every once in a while, I'll go to the different officers when I do see them, and I'll ask, how do you like the chief? And that was early on. It's not now because I know better. No, but I mean, all the officers, if you ask them individually, they will all say, he's great to work for, he's great to work with. And that's the highest compliment that they could give you. So thank you, Chief. And I can't believe it has been 5 years.
I'm going to take you two down memory lane. Do you remember when you came to the reception when the 3 finalists were here? We were upstairs in the crystal room. What did we do after that was all over? That's it. We walked out together, and we were in the parking lot, and we talked, and we talked, and we talked. And I was afraid I'd scared him off. Chief, on behalf of our entire community, thank you for what you brought to us. Thank you for fine-honing what was already here. And thank you for putting up with all of us.
As we wrap this up, and I'm sure the chief's just as uncomfortable as the previous officer.
I've only been here for 5 years, so I know no other or no differently, but I say thank you to you and the entire team that keeps all of us safe, and I feel so at home here, and I want to say thank you for keeping crime down and keeping us protected and coming when we call, so thank you so much.
Chief, I want to thank you for fostering a feeling of success within your department and within our town. I think everybody feels that every day that they come to work. They know that they have the opportunity to be successful because you allow them that opportunity. And Tina, same thing I'll say to every spouse, thank you for sharing them with us.
Chief, I don't know how long I've known you for, 3 or 4 years. Anyway, I'm one of the folks on this Citizens Academy, you know what I mean? Yeah, I assume I passed my background check because nobody's told me I didn't. Anyway, leadership, you can tell good leaders by the following they have, by the respect they get from their community, from their people that work for them. You, sir, are a great leader. I appreciate you.
He just reminded me of something that you all might enjoy. Tina couldn't be here when it was time to pin his badge on. I had that honor.